Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our kickoff meeting today for Disney's project to open a brand new theme park. Can you please move to the next slide? Thank you. The agenda for this meeting is that we'll start with quick introductions, company overview, project overview, stakeholder overview. We will then talk about our goals and milestone, the project scope and timeline, budget and resourcing, RACI chart, our communication plan for the project, our next steps, and then at the end, we will open the floor for Q&A. Let me first start with quick introductions for our team. I'm Anshul. I'm executive sponsor for this project. We have Karen with us, who is our deliverable manager. Kinjal is our schedule owner, and Rinal is our budget and resource specialist. As you know, our tagline says, Disney is the most magical place on the earth. Founded in 1923, Disney celebrated 100th anniversary last year. And as a part of the same mission, we are working towards finding a new location to start our new park. Uh, Thank you. Disney has a legacy of innovation and storytelling. Disney has various business verticals like studio entertainment, like Disney Studios, Marvel Studios, media networks like Disney Channel, theme parks, and experiences like Disneyland, streaming services like Disney Plus. And with a unique storytelling and experience, Disney has a global reach that has managed to create an impact across the globe. Every person has followed Disney at some point in their life, be it a Disney princess, the unlimited wealth of Uncle Scrooge, the Marvel superheroes, Mickey Mouse and his clubhouse. The list goes on and on. Can we please move to the next slide? So, to follow the same legacy and to expand this amazing experience to more parts of the world, we are working on starting a new park. As a part of this, our team is working on finding the next best location for the Disney park. So, the deliverable of this project would include two major aspects. First, we will start with a comprehensive market research, conduct feasibility study, location scouting, and financial analysis. This will be building blocks for us to determine the next best location to start a park based on market demand, accessibility, cultural relevance, and stakeholder interest. Can you please move to the next slide? So as you can see on the screen, these are the key internal and external stakeholders that will be crucial for this project. Here, our executive leadership team will be the final decision makers, as this team will comprise of CEO, CFO, CEO, and the other top level executives who are responsible for strategic decision making and overall project directions. Now I will hand it off to our delivery manager, Karen, who will walk you through the project plan and timelines.
Thank you so much, Anshul. So I'm really excited to talk about this amazing project today. How we already mentioned, we are planning to create a new theme park in a different country. So let's go into this project plan. Here we have 5 different phases. First, we have our planning phase that is going to take between 6 and 10 months, where we have the market research and feasibility analysis, site selection and land negotiations, building relationship with the local and authorities, and the financial analysis. Then, in our second phase, we have the design, the one that it will take the 6 to 12 months. Here we'll have some detailed design of the attraction and infrastructure, and we are going to obtain some permits. In our third phase, we have the construction. This one will take between 18 months and 24 months. Here we have the site preparation and the construction of main attractions. For our fourth phase, we have the testing and adjustment, the one that will take between 3 and 6 months. Here we'll have some quality and safety testing, final adjustment, and some staff training. And for our last phase, we have the opening operation, that we will have our official opening, daily operation. We will have continuous evaluation about this project and the marketing strategies. Can you please go to the next slide? So now we can talk a little bit about the project scope. We have here the scope will be for this part of the project. We are going to create the new theme part, but we are going to get focused on find the place and make some research and analysis for the market, some feasibility studies, how Anshel already explained before. So we have some acceptance criteria to ensure the success. For this one, it will be like the attraction must meet Disney quality standards and exceed the visitor expectations. The park must comply with a local safety and environmental regulation. The location must be strategic and accessible to maximum attendance. And also, we need to effective collaboration with the local authorities to obtain the necessary permits. For us, it's also important at the adaptive process that it should be allowed to adjust based on the market needs and the local conditions. Then we have some assumptions. We're assuming that there will be sufficient demand for the local and the international visitors will find suitable land without significant legal conflicts, will consider the host country cultural preference in our designs, and we can establish a strong relationship with the local and the authorities. In our deliverables, we include the final site selection with comprehensive feasibility analysis, a detailed development plan for attraction and infrastructure, all required permits and license, implemented attraction with quality and safety testing, and also all documentary and operational adaptive process. And for the last part in our project scope, we have the constraints. The project faces some limitation, that it could be like the budget constraints for development construction, specific timelines to open the park, conflicts with host countries' legal and regulatory requirements, and some cultural and social consideration in our designs. So all those components are part of our project scope. But we are going to, in this project, we are going to be focused in the phase number one, that it was the planning phase. Now, Kinjal is going to talk about our goals in this step.
Thank you, Karen. The scope of this project is limited only to the planning phase. There are two parts in the planning phase, and the first goal is a comprehensive market research and analysis. The comprehensive market research and analysis is further broken into four pieces. The first goal of this phase is market understanding, that is, ensuring that there is a detailed assessment and market research that is conducted to understand what are the current trends, the customer needs, and a competitive landscape that we are present today. The second goal is a feasibility and risk assessment, that is to perform through feasibility studies, is to evaluate the project's technical, economical, legal, and operational viability. It also helps in identifying any potential risk and opportunity and develop strategies for adaptation and mitigation. The third goal is financial viability. The project also requires conducting a thorough financial analysis of project cost, revenues, and profitability. Also, some CBA, that is a cost benefit analysis. This also helps understand what is the ROI, that is return on investment, and the break even point on the project. The last and the important one is the environmental responsibility. Knowing how the world is changing and climate assessment is required in most of the countries wherever we plan to have the new Disney destination. It is crucial that we perform an environmental impact assessment or an EIA to ensure compliance with environmental regulations and sustainable project practices. The second goal of or the second phase of the planning phase is to determining the most suitable location for the new Disney theme park. The first goal within this is to understand the market and doing a potential location based assessment on the market demand and including a customer base size and market potential. The second goal is accessibility and infrastructure, assessing the accessibility of potential locations for customers, suppliers, and employees, as well as evaluating the quality and availability of necessary infrastructure. The third is cultural and community alignment, ensuring that the selected location aligns with the local cultural norms and has community support as well as aligns with the values of the Disney itself. It also requires engaging with local stakeholders to build strong relationships and gain insights. The last is stakeholder collaboration. This requires identifying and engaging with key stakeholders, including local businesses, community leaders, and government authorities, and foster partnerships and collaborations to support project success. Milestones. As all of us saw that there are few goals within the first planning phase of the project, and goal itself are divided into two further sub goals. So those goals we have broken them into milestones, starting with the first one, that is the initial research phase. The expectation is the planning phase is going to move somewhere around from 6 to 10 months. That's roughly the expectation for this. And the milestone first is the initial research phase that is probably going to last around approximately around a month or two, that requires conducting a preliminary market research and feasibility study, as well as identifying any key market trends and potential risk. The second one is location scouting and initial assessments that require conducting preliminary assessments on options for locations across the globe and beginning with any environmental impact assessments that's necessary at the planning phase. Uh, the third one is the detailed analysis and financial projections. The detailed analysis and financial projections help in understanding the ROI of the project, as well as any cost projections or cost implications on with us that with a specific location that is in mind. It also requires completing a comprehensive feasibility study. The fourth is stakeholder engagement and community consultation. Engaging with local stakeholders and conducting community consultation is critical at this phase to gather feedback and refine projects based on any inputs from the community or the government authorities. The, the most important and the crucial milestone for the planning phase is finalizing the location and reporting it to the executive team, and the last and the foremost is the project approval and next step, which is basically obtaining necessary approvals and endorsements from stakeholders and plans for the next phases of project development based on the selected location. Moving to the next, the project budget and resource specialist, Brunel, is going to explain the budget resourcing and the RSAI chart.
Thank you, Kinjal. So here, if we can see in this slide, we have pie chart to show how much budget we have allocated for each team. And if you see here, we have allocated highest budget to location scouting team, because that team's job is to traveling from one location to another location until we find perfect location for our new site. And this also includes some kind of regulatory check and so much back and forth. So that's why we have 100K for this team. And then we have some kind of 60K for financial analysis team, and so on. If we see contingency here on chart, we have 70K. And this is for in case if we need some more money, then we know we have something in our pocket to use or spend. On the table, if we focus on, so we have shown that what resources required by which team. As I mentioned, location scouting team, so they would need scouting team. Why? Because they need people who can find location, and this will be falling into real estate department. Same with financial analysis, for financial analysis activity. So for this task, what we need, it's like we need analysts to do some sort of analysis, and then some software where we're gonna, take all the data, or like we wanna make some account statements, and it will be falling into finance department. So similarly, like, we have listed activity here in the table, and resource required for each team, and who would be responsible department for that task. Kinjal, can we move to next slide, please? RACI chart. So RACI chart is for who would be doing what, and which team needs to be responsible, who is accountable, who needs to consult for certain activity, and who needs to inform. So we need to know which team will be performing what task and what would be their role. If we see legends here, so we already highlighted legends with different color, so it will be easy to identify. And on top, we have mentioned all our stakeholders, and then on left side, we have all the different activities. If we see here, for all the activities, executive leadership team will be accountable. Why? Because executive leadership team needs to make final call for any of the activity. What this team contains, it contains SVP from all the different areas. So then their input will be valuable, and they need to make sure tasks are completing on time. Kinjal, can we go to next slide, please? Here is a communication plan. For any project, we need communication, and we need strong communication, because any gap in communication will not make us to achieve to our targeted goal. So here we have built communication plan with stakeholder, and how frequently we are meeting them. Is it gonna be like weekly meeting, bi-weekly meeting, and what they need to provide us in order to be successful with this project, and who would be owning those meetings. So we have summarized that in that this table. For example, we will be having meeting with executive leadership team just to discuss about status of the project, so they can make sure or they are aware of task, and they can push something if we need to complete in timely manner, or as like, or things can be escalated to them in order to quickly complete them. And this meeting will be bi-weekly manner. And communication method would be like, teams meeting and then report sharing. Similarly, we have all the different stakeholder mentioned here, and we'll be following this chart. And after this meeting, we'll be sending invites to respected teams. Can we move to next slide, please? Next steps. So after completing planning phase, which is going to take 6 to 10 months approx. So our expected timing to completing this phase is Q1 2025. And at Q1 2025, after that, we'll be starting design phase. Design phase will be completing in Q4 2025. And then construction phase starts, and it's going to take around approximately 2 years. So we will be completing in Q4 2027. After that, testing will be performed, and testing will take around 6 to 9 months. So then testing will be completed in Q2 2028. So our plan is to start and up running this new amusement park by summer 2028. Next slide, please. So that's all, like, plan we have put together. And if anyone has any concern, question, please let us know and raise it here. If not,